非常感谢主哈，让我们今天晚上能够在这里一起来学习，来敬拜神。
And so I thank the Lord greatly that we are able to be here tonight to learn of His Word and to worship Him.
我们知道主耶稣他说神是灵，所以拜他的要用心灵和诚实拜他。
So we know that He says that the Lord is spirit, and therefore he who worships Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth.
那这个用心灵和诚实，当然我们也可以把它翻译成说用我们的灵在真理里面来侍奉他。
And so the spirit and truth, we could also say that we use our souls and give it to Him.
在真理里面来拜神。
And we worship Him in the gospel.
Yeah, in the spirit and truth. 那我们知道说灵是人所不能够看见的。
We know that spirits are not visible to human eyes.
所以保罗他说神他是独一不死。
And so Paul says that the Lord is the only immortal.
那他是人所不能看见，也是未曾看见的。
And He is also invisible to man.
我们来看一下提摩太前书第6章。
Let us look at 1 Timothy chapter 6.
提摩太前书6章的16节。
1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 16.
这个地方虽然是一句的后半段的但是我们从这里来认识他所描述的神是什么样的神。
So this is the later half of something, but we will use this to take a closer look.
16节这里说，就是那独一不死，住在人不能靠近的光里，是人未曾看见，也是不能看见的，要将他，就是把基督把他显明出来。但愿尊贵和永远的全能都归给他。阿们。
16. Who only hath immortality, dwelling in light unapproachable, whom no man has seen nor can see, to whom be honor and power eternal. Amen.
这个地方在讲到说，我们所拜的这一位神他是独一不死而且他是人未曾看见也不能看见。
So over here it talks about how the Lord we worship is not only immortal, but he cannot be seen. He has not been seen and cannot be seen.
那因为他是灵
because he is spirit.
那前面这个地方在讲说15节我们这一段我们就从前面这个地方来讲，请看第11节。
And so if we look at the beginning half, so let's start at verse 11.
11节这里说，但你这属神的人要逃避这些事，追求公义、健全、信心、爱心、忍耐、温柔。
11. But thou, O man of God, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness.
你就是提摩太保罗在告诉提摩太说，你是属神的人。
So you, the you over here refers to Timothy.
那要逃避什么样的事情呢？
And so what are these things he must flee from?
就是从第3节这个地方所讲。
Refers to verse 3
一直到第10节
to verse 10.
就要逃避就是说如果有人传异教，不服从我们主耶稣基督纯正的话，与那合乎敬虔的道理，这个道理是教义了
So if any man teaches a different doctrine and consents not to sound words, even the words of Lord Jesus Christ, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness.
那这样的人他是自高自大，一无所知，专好问难，争辩言辞，从此就生出嫉妒、纷争、毁谤、妄疑，并让坏的心术失上真理之人的增进。
He is puffed up, knowing nothing, but doting upon questioning and disputes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings.
这个地方在讲到说，当时的教会里面已经有人在传异教。
And so this talks about the church at the time where people had already started spreading different doctrines.
那所传的这个异教是跟合乎圣经教训的教义是违背的。
And these new doctrines did not align with the words of the Bible.
它会有一个非常明显的果子。
And these bear very evident results.
就好像主耶稣在讲说，我们要观察一个假先知就要看他所结的是什么果子。
So Jesus said that if we wanted to see a false prophet, we look at the fruits he bears.
好树一定结好果子，
So a good tree will bear good fruit.
那坏树就结坏果子。
However, a bad tree will bear bad fruit.
那当时有人在传异教，结果他所生出来的果子，就是会造成在教会里面有一些嫉妒、纷争、毁谤、妄疑
And so over here, a person was bringing up false doctrines, and the fruits that were born out of this were envy, strife, railings, and evil surmisings.
在我们今天教会里面，如果说有这样事情发生，我们可以慢慢的可以感觉到说，这个人他可能也是像圣经这里所说的。
And today, if such a thing were to happen in our church, we would also be able to feel such similar things arising out of that person.
那如果说再仔细去听听看他所讲的是什么样的道理。
And if we were to listen closely to what the person would say,
我们就可以发现说，其实所讲的很多已经违背了圣经里面所教导我们的一些教义。
we find that a lot of the things that he would say would go against what we have been taught in the Bible.
所以保罗在告诉提摩太说，你要逃避这些事。
And so over here, Paul tells Timothy that you must flee from these things.
意思就是说，你自己不要去传这样子的异教。
And it also means that he himself should be wary of not spreading such false doctrines.
那另外一方面就是不必跟这样子的人去做一种没有意义的争辩。
And the other one is to not go into a meaningless dispute of words with such people.
只要你用心的把这纯正的道理把它讲清楚。
As long as you faithfully with your heart say the true gospel.
就好像12节这里所说，为真道打那美好的仗。
And just like in verse 12 where it says, fight the good fight of the faith.
那这个为真道打美好的仗，不是说去跟其他人竞争。
So this fight the good fight does not mean to go picking fights with other people.
而是为了真道，所以他要追求公义、敬虔、信心、爱心、忍耐、温柔。这是一个美好的战争。
But to pursue
11节后面。
to pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness.
这些就是你在真道上去打的一个美好的仗。
And to pursue these things is the holy good fight of the faith.
那而且要持定永生因为你是为了这个来被造的。
And because you have been made for such purpose.
意思就是说，我们知道主耶稣所应许我们的就是永生。
So
主所应许我们的就是永生那是在约翰一书
so
第2章第25节。
So this is from John chapter 1.
First John.
1 John.
第2章。
1 John chapter 2.
第12节。
Verse 12.
第2章的第25节。
Sorry. 1 John chapter 2 verse 25. 25. And this is the promise which he promised us, even the life eternal.
我们看回来提摩太前书第6章。
So let's flip back to 1 Timothy.
第12节这个地方在讲的就是说，你要为真道打美好的仗意思就是说，因为真道这个真道你要非常努力的，你才能够按照这个真道把它行出来。
And so
12节说你要为真道打那美好的仗就是说我们为了这个真道那你要征战的对象就是要克制自己的情欲克制自己的软弱，然后把这些真理上所要求我们要行得出来的，把它行出来。
So over here in verse 12, it the good fight that it refers to is a fight against one's own weaknesses, so that we may better do the things which we need to.
因为只有这样，我们才能够持定永生就是主耶稣所应许要给我们的。
So only then will we be able to inherit what the Lord has for us.
那我们都是为这个永生被造，我们主耶稣他选造我们，就是要让我们来得到他所要给我们的永生。
And so this inheritance is the reason why we've been created in the first place.
那13节这里保罗他说我在神耶稣基督面前嘱咐你，这个命令你
And so in verse 13 it says, I charge you in the sight of God.
你要守这个命令。
So he has to follow the commandment.
你要守住这个命令，直到主耶稣基督显现。
He has to follow it until the coming of Christ.
意思就是说，我们信主不是一步登天，马上得救
So what this means is salvation does not come in a single step.
那得救是一个进程。
Salvation is a long process.
我们一开始相信，然后得到恩典，进入这个恩典中，就站在这个恩典中罗马书第5章那里所说的。
And so the first step is to repent and be in the grace of the Lord.
来盼望神的荣耀。
And to seek the will of God.
意思就是说，我们等到主耶稣再来的时候，那我们那个时候才这个得救才真的到的一个目的地。
And we persist until the final day of the Lord's coming, when this salvation will come.
我们看一下15节。
Let us look at verse 15.
到了日期，那可称颂独有全能的万王之王、万主之主
15, which in its own time he shall show, who is the blessed and only potentate, the King of kings, the Lord of lords.
这个独有全能它是 the only potentate 它的意思是说唯一的治理者。
So the only potentate is the meaning of this means the only one who holds power.
Yeah, the only ruler
The only ruler.
我们知道神他不只是在治理人。
So we know that God doesn't only rule over man.
他是掌管事情。
He rules over all things.
他是万事万物的他能够掌握万事万物的起源。
And he's in charge of all phenomena throughout all universe and matter.
他管理他的过程。
And he looks over their processes.
他也成就他的结果。
And he decides their outcome.
所以神他不只是万物起头的主人。
So he is not only the master, he is not only the Lord of all things.
他是过程的主人。
But he is also the master of, he is also all their cause.
The process, the master of the process.
And the process.
他也是结局的主人。
And he is also the master of the end.
所以对神没有什么意外。
So there is nothing that excludes God.
没有，他不会说 there is no accident to God.
And there is
对神来讲没有意外。
And there is nothing
no surprise
And there is nothing there is no accidents and nothing which surprises him.
因为都在他的了解、他的掌握中。
For everything is in the grasp of his understanding.
他是人跟事物的治理者。
So he is the administrator of all men and things.
所以保罗在说他是独有全能他是唯一的治理者。
And so Paul here says he is almighty and the only potentate.
我们对保罗他身上曾经有一根刺这个事情我们都非常熟悉。
So we all know of Paul and the thorn inside of him.
我们来看一下哥林多后书第12章。
Let's look at 2 Corinthians chapter 12.
哥林多后书第12章第6节。
2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 6.
到第10节。
Verse 6 to 10.
我就是愿意夸口，也不算狂，因为我必说实话。只是我禁止不说，恐怕有人把我看高了，过于他在我身上所看见、所听见的。这个地方保罗他在讲，他说他不要把事情讲得太多。
So over here, Paul talks about how he does not want to say too much.
因为他很怕说他讲的话会让人把他看得比他真正的自己还要高。
Because he's afraid that because of his words, men will see him in a higher light than what he actually is.
事实上他有他的软弱，他很清楚。
But he knows that he has his weaknesses.
所以他不希望说别人把他看得太完美。
So he does not want others to think of him as too perfect of a being.
超过他实际上是的那样的人。
He does not want others to think that he is a person that he is not.
那第7节这里说，又恐怕我因所得的启示甚大，就过于自高，所以有一根刺加在我肉体上。
And so in verse 7 it says that, and by reason of extreme greatness of the revelations, that I should not be too exalted, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh.
神给保罗有很大的启示。
So God gave many revelations to Paul.
但是神他不要保罗因为得的启示很大，所以就变得很骄傲、很自高。
But he did not want Paul to be very proud because of all the revelations.
所以就有一根刺加在他的肉体上。
So he put a thorn in his flesh.
那接下来第7节后面这里说，就是撒旦的猜疑要攻击我，免得我过于自高。
And in the latter half of verse 7 it says, a messenger of Satan to buffet me, that I should not be exalted too much.
那什么是撒旦的猜疑呢？
So what does it mean for Satan to buffet?
我们请看11章。
Let us look at chapter 11.
13节
Chapter 11, verse 13.
到15节。
Verse 13 to 15.
保罗在讲说，那一些人那等人是假使徒，行事诡诈，装作基督使徒的模样。这也不足为怪，因为连撒旦也装作光明的天使，所以他的猜疑若装作仁义的猜疑，也不算稀奇。他们的结局必然照着他们的行为。
13. For such men are false apostles, deceitful workers, fashioning themselves into apostles of Christ. 14. And no marvel, even Satan fashioned himself into an angel of light. 15. It is no great thing, therefore, if his ministers also fashion themselves as ministers of righteousness, whose ends shall be according to their works.
这个地方保罗他把一些假使徒把它称作是撒旦的猜疑。
Over here, he says that the false apostles are ministers of Satan.
那为什么会有一些假使徒呢？
So why would there be false apostles?
我们知道保罗他在传道的时候，尤其他传到哥林多教会的时候，
We know that when Paul was preaching, especially when he reached Corinth,
那当时有一些其他的犹太人会有一些不同的教导。
and at the time, many Jews had different followings.
用犹太教来想要来批评保罗所传的主耶稣基督的救恩。
And they tried to judge what Paul said based off of their Jewish ways.
那更可怕的就是当时已经慢慢形成一个错误的一个希腊的哲学思想就是诺斯底的思想。Gnosticism.
Greater still was at the time there was a new Greek philosophy arising, which was Gnosticism.
那这个错误的思想，我们当然我另外有时间我再另外来谈。
And I will talk more about this some other time.
最主要就是说肉体是恶的，那灵是善的。
But the important thing to know from it is that it preaches that the flesh is evil, but the spirit is good.
它最主要是 matter 事物是恶的了那灵是善的。
What they preach is that matter is evil, but the spirit is sacred.
那身体因为它是事物，它是一个 matter
And since the body is made out of matter,
所以它是恶的。
so the body is evil.
那神是灵，所以神是绝对的善。
However, God is spirit, so God is absolute purity.
所以神跟人之间是不会有接触的。
So there is no mingling between God and man.
所以就开始提到主耶稣的人的身份的本质了哈。这样的话就会开始影响到耶稣的这个本质，这个人这个人性的本质。因为神的灵不能跟身体这样子处在一起。
So they start to question the human properties of Jesus because according to them, spirit cannot mingle. God's spirit cannot mingle with physical flesh.
那既然肉体是恶的，所以就任凭他去恶，所以他可以去做什么事情那个不会有后果的啦因为肉体是本来就是恶的啦
and
可以去放纵情欲。
And they've already relinquished and given up that the body is evil. Therefore, anything done with the body can't be helped because it is evil to begin with.
那一个人得救是因为有一个玄妙、一个很奇妙的很奥妙的这种知识。
However, people are saved because of this strange knowledge.
所以因为有这样子的假使徒所以就造成保罗在宣扬主耶稣救恩的事情上面就受到很大的困扰。
And so, because of such teachings, Paul had great struggles when preaching.
那保罗他当然很不希望说这根刺一直在他身上。
Of course, Paul is not. Of course, he does not desire that thorn be in him for eternity.
所以他就求主
So he prayed to God
说叫这根刺离开我。
to remove this thorn from him.
我们不知道说他所求的这根刺离开我是要让那些假使徒都死掉呢，还是说就离开他的身边，不要再来搅扰他所传的福音。
So, by this thorn leaving, we don't know what he means. Whether he means that these false prophets don't leave him be, or if he wishes for them to all die off.
但是主耶稣并没有把那个刺拿掉。
However, the Lord did not remove this thorn.
第9节，我们看一下12章第9节。
Let's look at 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9.
因为主耶稣对我说：“我的恩典够你用的，因为我的能力是在人的软弱上显得完全，所以我更喜欢夸自己的软弱，好叫基督的能力复辟我。”
9. And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my weakness, that the power of Christ may rest upon me.
因为主耶稣这样子跟他讲，所以他知道说，原来那个刺留在他身上是主耶稣的恩典。
So this shows that it was God's will that thorn be within him.
因为一个人得的启示太大，真的对他来讲，并不是一个很容易撑得起的事。
Because if too much glory on one person is
too much revelation.
Too much revelation upon a person is a great burden for someone.
因为对他来讲，他很容易，人总是有一时的软弱心里会有一点骄傲、自高，这都免不了的。
Because man is weak and often has a pride that wells within.
所以主耶稣让这个刺留在他身上，就继续的让这些假使徒一直攻击他。
And so God leaves this thorn within him and keeps sending these false prophets to attack him.
那让保罗他就能够越来越清楚说，这些是主耶稣的恩典在保守他，免得他过于自高了。
And so through this, Paul realizes that this is God protecting him against the follies of pride.
接下来这一句话说，因为主的能力是在人的软弱上显得完全。
It also says, "For my power is made perfect in weakness."
人常常都会有软弱的时候，常常会犯错。
So there are often times where man is weak and commits wrongs.
主耶稣所教导的神当时对旧约的那些选民所教导的他们有很多的时候是因为自己的软弱根本没有办法去遵行。
And a lot of the things that God told the Israelites in the Old Testament they could not follow because of their physical weakness.
但是他们的失败并不能够去阻挡神要做的事。
However, their weakness was not able to prevent God from performing His work.
譬如说约瑟他的哥哥们出卖他。
For example, Joseph's brothers sold him.
把他卖给以实玛利商队，然后带到埃及，就去当奴隶了。
They sold him to the slave market where he became a slave in Egypt.
这是这些哥哥们的罪行。
This is a sin on the part and weakness on part of the
是
brothers,
出于他们的软弱。
and it's born from their weakness.
但是慢慢，我们从故事他整个事情这样经过，就可以看得出来说，原来神他成就了他的美意。
But if we look throughout the story, we can see that eventually God fulfills his will.
因为后来约瑟他就因为被卖到埃及当奴隶，后来就成为埃及的宰相。
Because he was sold to Egypt, he became the magistrate of Egypt.
他就救了他们全家，还有埃及全地。
And he saved not only his entire family, but in the entirety of Egypt.
而且更重要的，就提升约瑟的灵性。
And this elevated, and most importantly, it elevated Joseph's faith.
他能够全然的释放他的哥哥们。
And it elevated his heart, and he was able to forgive all of his brothers.
那这个都是神在差遣约瑟到埃及去之初，他就已经有的一个意思。
And so the moment from when Joseph was first sold to Egypt, that was already part and had a part of God's plan and had a meaning.
意思就是说，虽然人有软弱，人有这个罪行，
So even if humans have this weakness and are prone to committing wrongs,
却没有办法阻挡或是破坏神所要做的事情。
this does not interfere with God's will.
因为他要约瑟成为一个越来越美的一个人。
Because he wanted Joseph through all of this to become a better person.
神能够在人的错误中来完成他更好、更美的一些旨意。
So through man's weakness, the power of God is made perfect.
他不需要人犯错来帮助他。
He does not need people to do wrongs for him to be perfect.
就好像他不需要犹大来出卖主耶稣。
He did not need Judah to sell Jesus.
但是犹大出卖主耶稣，神的旨意还是成全。
But however, the point is his power is still perfect, despite Judah selling Jesus.
因为神是万事万物结局的主人。
Because he is the master of all cause and effect.
我们来看一下《申命记》第29章，
Let us look
请
at
看28章，
Leviticus chapter 28.
《申命记》28章。
Leviticus chapter 28.
28章这个地方，《
Deuteronomy, sorry.
申命记》28章这个是
Deuteronomy chapter 28.
这个是在约旦河的东边，神跟他的百姓再一次的立约。
So this is when God made a covenant anew with Israel near the river of Jordan.
在他们旷野之旅开始的时候，第3个月他们来到西乃山，神跟他们立约给他们10条诫命。
So on the third week after they left for the wilderness, God made a covenant with them on Mount Sinai and gave them the 10 commandments.
那在这10条诫命之下，神他定了一些律例还有典章。律例典章就是ordinances and judgment.
Okay, so he laid out the
ordinances and
okay, so he laid out the ordinances and the judgment for the people.
就是为了要达到10条诫命的目的他有一些规条，这些规条是有法则的，什么样的人要用石头打死，就在律例跟典章。
So in order to he made guidelines for the people to follow, and he also made punishments, and he wrote in detail what would happen to the people who did so and so.
这是在40年旷野之初的时候，神跟他百姓所立的约。
And this is a covenant that Jesus made at the start of the 40 years of their wandering in the wilderness.
那40年旷野快要结束的时候，神再一次跟他们立约。
And at the end of these 40 years, once again he made a new covenant.
那这个立约就是说，你们如果遵行就蒙福，如果不遵行违背的话，就要受祸。
And this is so if they obeyed, they would receive blessings, but if they did not, then they would be punished.
所以28章的第1节这里开始说，你们如果遵行，那底下这些福就要给你们。
So if in verse 1 in chapter 28 it says, if you shall heed the voice of God, all these blessings shall come to you and overtake you.
好，那15节以后呢，就是你们如果不听从神的话，那底下这些咒诅就临到你们身上。第15节。
And in verse 15 it says that if you will not hearken unto the voice of Jehovah thy God, all these curses shall come unto you and overtake you.
我们请看25节。
So let's look at verse 25.
神必使你败在仇敌面前，你从一条路去攻击他们，必从7条路逃跑，你必在天下万国中抛来抛去。
Jehovah will cause you to be smitten before your enemies. You shall go one way against them, and shall flee 7 ways before them, and you shall be tossed to and from amongst all the kingdoms of the earth.
所以我们知道说，在以色列百姓还没有进入迦南地以前，神就已经这样告诉他们。
So the Lord has told them so even before they entered the land of Canaan.
你们如果不遵守神的话，不遵行神的话，那你们的后果就是会被在天下万国中被抛来抛去。
That if they did not obey the Lord, then they would be persecuted throughout the ends of the earth.
我们看当时以色列人的历史，不管他们是在士师的时代，或者是后来进入王国时代，他们常常都没有办法行神眼中看为善的事。
So if you look at the history of the Israelites, whether they be under the judges or under kings, they were often unable to heed the words of God.
甚至他们在到圣殿去拜神的时候，同时他们也在心中拜偶像。
To the point where they went to the temple of the Lord, yet in their hearts they worshipped false idols.
所以后来王国的北朝被亚述国所灭，南朝被巴比伦所灭。
So in the end, the northern Jerusalem got consumed by Assyria, and the southern part got consumed by Babylon.
所以他们这些百姓很多人就被掳到外邦去了。
And so a lot of these, the people in Israel were taken to other countries.
历史上我们称它是 diaspora 就是 dispersion， 他们被驱散到万国当中。
Historically, we know this as the diaspora, or which means dispersion.
我们看一下29章。
Let's look at chapter 29.
29章的第28节。
Chapter 29, verse 28.
神在怒气、愤怒、大恼恨中，将他们从本地拔出来，扔在别的地上，像今日一样。
And Jehovah rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land as at this day.
那这当中有29节所说的，就是一个隐秘的事情。
And so in continuing verse 29, it says, "But things are revealed unto us."
隐秘的
the secret things.
就是说神让他们被从本地拔出，扔在别的地上。
And this refers to the fact that the Lord took them from their land and planted them somewhere else.
这是很奇妙的。
And this is very mysterious.
我们知道说他们被掳开始的时候被巴比伦掳去了。
We know that at the beginning when they were taken by the Babylonians.
那后来被波斯希腊他们都被等于是管辖。
And so afterwards they were all
Persian and Greece.
And later on they all became city states belonging to Persia and Greece.
所以他们是被掳到，就是很多已经被掳到别的地方去，他们没有办法回到他们应该要崇拜神的地方，就是在耶路撒冷这个地方献祭，他们都不能回去的。
And so they were all taken away from their homeland, and they could not go back and to their place of worship, Jerusalem, to worship the Lord.
这是这些百姓他们错误所造成的结果。
And this is something that their wrongdoings have brought upon them.
但是我们如果从历史上来看，
But if we look at it from a historical point of view,
因为他们离开那个耶路撒冷，
because they left Jerusalem,
他们不能回去，
and they could not go back.
而耶路撒冷是他们唯一可以献祭的地方。
And Jerusalem at the time was the only place where they could worship.
在申命记的第12章13、14节那个地方讲说，不可以任何找一个地方去献祭，一定要到神所选择的那个地方才能够献祭。
In Deuteronomy chapter 12, it mentioned that they could not sacrifice anywhere. They had to sacrifice at designated places.
所以他们就没有办法回到耶路撒冷去了。
So they could not return to Jerusalem.
他们就不能够献祭，不能献一个属神的百姓不能够向神献祭，就好像枯干的骸骨一样，就以西结先知所说的。他们就好像骸骨啊。
Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Okay. So they become as the dried
bones.
The dried bones that Ezekiel saw in his vision.
因为属神，但是不能向神献祭。
Because they turn to God, yet they cannot offer offerings to Him.
我们再看一下历代志下。
So let us look at Second Chronicles.
历代志下。
Let's look at Second Chronicles.
当所罗门王在献殿的时候，他曾经这样向神祷告。
When Solomon was building the temple of God, he prayed in such a manner.
那个时候，所罗门王他是一个非常强盛的一个王，他的国是一个非常强盛的国。
So at the time, Solomon was a very powerful king, and under him, Israel was a very powerful nation.
但是很奇妙的，他的祷告当中却包括这一段。
But interestingly, he said something in his prayer.
历代志下第6章36节。
So in 2 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 36
到39节
verse 36 to 39,
你的民若得罪你，世上没有不犯罪的人。你向他们发怒，将他们交给仇敌，掳到或远或近之地。他们若在掳到之地想起罪来，回心转意，恳求你说：我们有罪了，我们悖逆了，我们作恶了。他们若在掳到之地尽心尽性归服你，又向自己的地，就是你赐给他们列祖之地和你所选择的城，并我为你名所建造的殿祷告，求你从天上你的居所垂听你民的祷告，祈求为他们伸冤，赦免他们的过犯。
So if they 36, if they sin against thee, for there is no man that sins not, and you be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captive into a land far or off near. 37. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land with which they are carried captive, and turn again, and make supplication to you in the land of their captivity, saying, we have sinned, we have done perversely, and have dealt wickedly. 38. If they return to thee with all their heart and with all their souls in the land of their captivity, where they have been carried captive, and pray towards their land which you give unto their fathers, and the city which you chose, and towards the house which I have built for your name. And 39. Then hear thou from heaven, even from thy dwelling place, their prayer and their supplications, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people who have sinned against thee.
我们不知道所罗门王为什么会祷告的时候加上这一句。
So we don't know why Solomon would put this verse in his prayer.
因为他的国那个时候是非常强大的。
Because Israel was extremely powerful at the time of his reign.
但是后来真的他的百姓后来就被掳到外国去了。
But yet, this really came to pass, that his people would be taken away to foreign lands.
那他们没有办法回到耶路撒冷来献祭。
And they were unable to come back to Jerusalem to worship.
所以这个祷告词就成为他们解决的一个什么？我们说一个打通可以打通的一条路了。
And so this verse became a new door that opened for them.
一个新打开的路，一个门那他们就开始在外所被掳到之地，虽然不能回去，他们就开始聚集，然后就建立会堂。
And so even though they cannot return to Jerusalem, they began to gather and construct churches. Synagogues.
那在主前244年，第一间犹太会堂就在叙利亚的一个地方，一个城市叫那个Dera Europos， 就被建立起来了。
So the first synagogue ever was established in minus 44 BC, where in a place called
Dura Europos。
Dura Europos.
那从这个会堂建立起来以后，就慢慢的一间一间的犹太会堂就在各地就好像雨后春笋一样的就冒出来了。
And so there became after this first synagogue, there began many other synagogues that became appearing throughout all different lands.
他们每10个有10个犹太人当中有一个是利未人，他们就可以成立一个会堂，犹太会堂。
So long as there were at least 10 Jews and 1 Levite, they could construct a synagogue.
那当时我们现在当然不需要，当时他们这个会堂一定是向着耶路撒冷祷告。
And of course, this is not required today, but back in the days, the synagogues, they had to face Jerusalem to pray.
所以他们就可以在不是耶路撒冷的地方，也是同样可以向神祷告。
So this allowed them to pray towards God despite not being in Jerusalem.
那我们知道说，在主前336年，那个亚历山大Alexander the Great 他兴起，他当王，那个时候才20岁。
So we know that in minus 336 BC, Alexander the Great became king of Macedon at the age of 20.
到主前326年，就在10年之间。
And in the span of 10 years,
他就征服了南欧北非还有西亚。
So he took control of the entirety of Europe, Africa, and part of the Middle East.
南非就是 Southern Europe North of Africa and South of West of Asia 那最远他跑到印度了。
And the farthest his kingdom went was in Africa.
那我们知道说
in India.
我们知道那个亚历山大他最重要的一个政策就是他所征服之地一定都希腊化，要接受希腊文化，要学习希腊语言。
So one of the most important things was that in his kingdom, everything had to learn Greek and had to know how to read and write it.
那我们知道说，像在使徒行传13章圣灵差遣保罗、巴拿巴出去。
So we know that in Acts, the Holy Spirit appointed Paul and Barnabas out to preach.
那他们出去的时候要去哪里？他们根本不晓得。
And they didn't know where to start.
所以他们跑到了外邦各地去，第一件事情就是到犹太会堂去。
And so, before going out throughout the world, the first place they went to was the synagogues.
那在那个地方呢，他用一个希腊语就可以传道了。
And over there, he could preach in Greek.
譬如说他来到加拉太，像那个这个以哥念那个地方以哥念那种地方他们是讲吕高尼话的但是保罗一去，希腊话就可以跟他们见证了、传道了。
And so he could preach in Greek no matter where he went. For example, in Galatia, there is a place called Luconian who speak their own language, yet he was able to preach using just Greek.
那我们知道说这些犹太人，他们因为很多在外地出生的那些子弟，他们不懂得希伯来文，所以他们就早就已经计划要翻译希腊文的圣经在主前132年就完成了希腊文圣经了。
And so there were many Israelites who at that point have left Israel so long that they did not speak Hebrew. And so
the younger generations.
So the younger generation did not even speak Hebrew. So at that point, in about minus 136 BC, they already made plans to translate the Bible into Aramaic.
Yeah, completed 132 BC. 在主前132年就完成了那个我们说74译本的圣经
And the complete Bible was completed in minus 132 BC.
所以我们看保罗、巴拿巴他们出去传道到犹太会堂去。
So we can see that when Paul and Barnabas they went to preach at the synagogues.
他不管向哪一种人，用希腊话就可以传道了。
No matter who they may preach to, they only needed to use Greek.
那这些外邦人在信了耶稣以后，他们也来到犹太会堂要听圣经。
and these Gentiles, when they went over and to the synagogue and to learn the words of God,
他们在读的就是74译本的希腊文圣经。
when what they read was a Bible written in Aramaic.
那保罗他在写信来阐明真理，
And when Paul wrote his letters,
他用希腊文写，
he wrote them in Greek
他引用希腊文圣经。
using the Greek Bible.
所以我们看神早就已经预备这一条路。
So you can see that the Lord had prepared a road for them way back.
对犹太人来讲，他是不随便跟外邦人交往的。
So the Israelites did not interact with Gentiles often.
所以我们看到说，彼得他到哥尼流家去，那跟他们吃饭，回来以后就被责备了。因为他跑到可尼流的家去，还跟他们一起吃饭呢。
So we see that when Peter went over to the house of Cornelius and dined with them, when he came back, he was scorned.
因为犹太人跟非犹太人他们是完全隔绝的啦，没有办法向外伸出去的。
Because the Jews were completely secluded from the Gentiles.
那要怎么样让这个福音能够传开呢？
So how are you supposed to spread the word?
尤其像神给亚伯拉罕一开始的时候就叫他离开本地本族父家。
In the beginning, when God told Abraham to leave the land of his fathers,
他如果离开，神就要给他7个应许。
when he left, God gave him 7 things.
那第7个应许 promise 这个第7个应许就是万国必因你得福。
And so he promised him 7 things, and the last of these things is that all nations of the earth shall
Be blessed by you，
be blessed by through you and your descendants.
那但是我们看整个旧约完全神的选民跟其他外邦人是完全没有办法接触的。
So, but despite this promise, we can see that throughout the entirety of the Old Testament, there was no contact at all between the Israelites and the Gentiles.
所以主耶稣升天以前，在告诉他的门徒，他说：“你们要去，使万民做我的门徒。”
And so God appointed them to make all peoples of the earth His people.
主耶稣在升天以前before the ascension of Jesus, he instructed the disciples to make disciples of all nations, right? 所有的他要把这个福音传给万民
So before the ascension, he told his disciples to make disciples of all nations.
对这些犹太人，尤其是加利利人来讲，那种根本不可能的事情。
And to the Jews, especially those in Galilee, this was something unthinkable.
因为他们是神的百姓，其他人是外邦人，是污秽的。
Because to them, they were the chosen people, and everyone else was unclean.
但是神却借着他们在信仰上的失败然后让他们被掳到国外去建立犹太会堂。
But yet, through their weakness, through the fact that they were taken and placed in other lands, the Lord spread His work.
神并不需要他们来犯错，
The Lord did not need them for say to commit wrongs
来帮助他。
in order to
他不需要这些人犯错来帮助神。
these people, they did not have to commit wrongs in order to help God.
但是神的全能他却能够让事情很自然的发展，然后就成就他所要的事。
However, the omnipotence of God allows Him to make His will possible throughout, no matter what happens.
以色列百姓他们犯罪他们离弃神，这是很自然的一种一个进程。
So the Israelites falling out of line with God, that is a very natural process.
那神让他们就这样子的发展下去。
And the Lord allowed this to happen and allowed them to spread.
但是整个事情却成就了神他一个非常非常崇高、非常美的一个意思。从一开始他就已经定的一个旨意。
However, everything was part of God's master plan from the beginning.
这就是我们所拜的神。
And this is the God we worship.
因为我们所拜的这一位神，他是独有全能的神。
because this God is the only potent God.
对他来讲没有意外，没有什么事情会让他好像很吃惊。
And to him, there are no unexpected surprises,
因为万事万物都是他在治理，
because he orchestrates everything in the world.
他是起源的主人，他也是结局的主人，
He is the Lord of the beginning and the Lord of the end.
他是管理所有、管理万有的神。
He is the God which watches over everything.
那他就是我们所拜的这位神，
And he is the God we worship.
他是灵，
He is spirit.
所以他能够进到我们的里面，
So he is able to enter into us
他会知道我们心里所想的，
and know what we think.
我们平常在暗中所做的事情，他也都知道。
And he knows everything we do, even in the dark.
所以我们对他要有一个真正敬畏的心，
So you must have a true heart of humility against him.
在他的面前要做我们真正的自己
And we must be our true selves in front of him
然后一步一步的来走一个他要我们走的道路。
and walk step by step the road in which he wants us to walk.
最后我们是要回到他那里去。
And in the end, our goal is to reach where he is.
我们今天晚上就正道到这里
So we will stop here for tonight.
一起来唱诗
Let us flip to hymn,
316首。
hymn number 316.